If you're a beginner, this is a message for you. Do not try and make things scalable before you've made them valuable. So I see too many people trying to say like, well, that's not going to scale. Well, what if I get 1,000 customers and I'm there? It's like telling somebody, hey, I don't want to start lifting weights because what if I get too jacked? Why don't you just look like you work out first? And then we can deal with the fact that you got to buy new shirts. We'll deal with it then. When you sell something that's unscalable and inherently valuable because it is unscalable, you will be able to charge more money for it, have less infrastructure because you make more money per customer. And as a result of making more money per customer, you will take that additional money and you will deploy it as resources to build out your capacity when you need it. And so for many of you, you need to pull your heads out of your asses and focus on the one thing you probably need to do. And so if you're like, I'm not sure what to do, let me tell you what it is. You make your offer, and then you say you will give stuff away, the version of that thing, for free. And you say you'll work with somebody one-on-one for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours for free. But wait, Alex, how am I going to make money? You currently don't make money. And now you have 0 leads. If you then upgrade to having leads and not making money, that makes you better off than having no leads and not making money. And guess what leads become? Customers. And so whatever your current hourly rate is, let's say that you currently make, and by the way, if you don't know how this math works, look at what you made last year, divided by 2,000, that's what your hourly wage is. And if you're looking at what you made when you were awake, then divide it by 8,000, and all of a sudden you're going to be really, really sad. All right. So let's do this math together. Let's say that your median household income, bro, all right, 60,000. That's median household income in the United States. Let's divide that by 8,000. That's $7.50 per hour. All right, $7.50 per hour. So let me ask you this question. Would you pay $40 to get a customer? Probably. If I said you pay 40 and you get to sell someone something $1,000, would you pay it? Definitely. Of course you would. And yet you don't do it with your time. Real quick, if you're trying to make your first dollar online, you can go to skool.com/games. We've got a whole system that's set up. It's a platform. You can start it for free. I've got instructional videos. I take a call every single week. And so if you do that, you can hop on the call on Monday and I'll say hi to you. Just let me know that you're brand new. And so 5 hours times $7.50 is $40 of your time. That's if you want to be a prima donna and value your time because you think your time is valuable. But it isn't because you don't make any money yet. Because the market literally doesn't value your time because you don't have the skill to turn your time into money. And that's what I'm trying to break down for you. Give time away. Service customers for free. When you have your first meeting with them, say, hey, would you mind if at the end of these 5 hours on our 5th day or our 5th meeting, if I present to you what it might look like for us to work together? They'll say yes. After they say yes, you then ask them what their goals are, what the obstacles are that they've encountered up to this point, what things have gotten in the way. And then what this does is it creates where they want to go, where they're at now, and the obstacle in the way. And guess what we get paid money for? Solving the obstacle. Now, here's the cool part about giving work away for free. You get to load the dice. You get to stack the deck because you know that when you solve that problem, guess what happens in business? You create more problems. So for example, if you were in a B2B situation, maybe you help someone change their site and now their site could convert more. Guess what they're going to want once their site converts more? More traffic. If someone says, hey, I'm going to help you with an offer, at the end of the 5 hours, they have an offer and you're like, great, now you know what to sell. Would you like my help selling it? They'll say, yes, as a matter of fact, now that I know this, I need this. And so this is something called the classic upsell. You can't have X without Y. You can't have fries without ketchup. You can't have peanut butter without bread. So you give them the peanut butter and then you say, hey, you want some bread with that? And so I see a lot of guys giving advice, sometimes even in the school groups, that are midwitting. They're overwhelming people with stupidity. And so I want to destroy that and make this as simple as humanly possible for the sole purpose of forcing you to confront the work. Give more shit away for free than you were originally planning to. Give so much shit away for free that people feel bad that they're taking from you. And then you get to set the terms for them to make it up to you. And you can make them make it up to you for more than it cost you. And so I'll tell you a little story about reciprocity. Life hack. Let's say I cover somebody's lunch, right? We're at the cafeteria. We're at uni, as they call it in the UK, in the Kingdoms of United. We're at uni, and I cover the lunch for £8. Let's say it's an expensive lunch, right? Quid is like bucks, but for pounds. That's what they call it, slang. And so then it's like, hey, man, I owe you one. Now, at a later date, let's say it's tomorrow, I say, awesome, man. Can you help me move out of my house and into the new house? Well, fuck. That was a bigger ask. But if he says no, he looks like a dick because he set the terms of a blank check. And so here's the thing that people don't understand. When you give something to someone and they accept it, they write you a blank check that you get to cash later on your terms. So the reason you want to give away so much is so that you can have many IOUs out there and know that you will get more back from them than you gave. That's the net positive trade. Now, if I want to be altruistic about it, then the hope is that at that time, the guy was starving and he was going to die if I didn't buy him lunch. And so the idea is that the value that I gave him actually was outsized. And for him, he was stoked to come over the next day and help me do this. But I'm just giving you the Cialdini influence breakdown rather than the altruistic version of this. Again, because I just don't want anybody to get confused about it. So give away unscalable value. Give away value that costs you like pounds of flesh. And the reason we do that is because you want them to know it costs you. It's actually almost more important that they know that it cost you a lot to do this because that's what makes them more inclined to buy. And so, for example, one-on-one stuff works so well in the beginning. This is how I started my business. It works so well in the beginning because you don't need to include many other features. If you just say, I'm going to do whatever I can over 5 hours to help you with this one thing, you don't need to think about the features and the bonuses and the wording and all this stuff because all of that 201 mid-wit marketing stuff is only important once you need to get to the point where you have already maxed out your time. And so until you max out your time, until you're spending 40 hours a week actively doing one of two things, you're either promoting or delivering. That's it. 40 hours. Until 40 hours of your week. That's all you're doing. Now, admin, I'm not even counting that. Just pure work that is the highest value work. Until you do that, the rest of it doesn't matter. And once you get there, then you can worry about the scalable shit. Because guess what happens when you do 40 hours a week of customer-facing work because you're promoting or delivering? You know a hell of a lot more about your customers. And then when you create the more scalable version, you'll be able to say, okay, I do these 8 things repeatedly over and over again. So in the beginning, I'm talking to these people and you're just figuring it out. But then you realize, man, that was pretty good. That thing I said to that first guy, I'm going to say it to the second guy. And you say it to the second guy. And by the 9th time you say it, you're like, okay, that's a